You'd think it'd be easy to spot mold on your bread before popping it into your mouth, but what happens if you're too hungry to notice? Should you call a doctor ASAP? Here's what science says. When making yourself something to eat, few things are as upsetting as biting into a piece of mold on your sandwich or fruit.
I got something for ya.
A moldy sandwich.
However, it's not uncommon for mold to grow deep under the surface of bread or cheese, making it all too easy for an unsuspecting consumer to accidentally ingest some of the fungi. Once this happens, there are a few possibilities of what to expect once mold gets into a person's system. In general, most people will be completely fine after consuming a small bit of mold, but since everyone's body is different, you should monitor any symptoms that may arise. While many molds are harmless, there are a few types that can pose big problems for your health, so you should definitely pay close attention to how you feel and be prepared to contact your doctor if you begin to feel unwell. According to Cleveland Clinic, ingesting mold can sometimes cause allergic reactions. It can also lead to symptoms such as respiratory issues and gastrointestinal distress. You should speak to a medical provider right away if you experience any of those symptoms after eating mold. Molds are harmful on their own, but they can also carry other dangers along with them. The U.S. Department of Agriculture explains, a few molds in the right conditions produce mycotoxins, poisonous substances that can make you sick. Mycotoxins are naturally occurring and contaminate a number of crops, including grains, nuts, fruits, and vegetables. Grains used to make animal feed are also known to carry mycotoxins, which can cause animal products to become tainted with these dangerous substances. If that wasn't upsetting enough, scientists are discovering new mycotoxins regularly. It's often been said that up to 25% of the world's crops are affected by mycotoxins. However, a 2019 study from Queen's University Belfast found that that statistic is far too low, estimating that 60 to 80% of the world's crops could be contaminated with mycotoxins. Mold can grow on practically any food. However, fresh produce and perishables are at a greater risk than processed goods, as well as foods that are resistant to mold. The pesky fungi can even contaminate foods that have been cured or preserved, which means it can be difficult to completely eliminate the risk of mold developing. It's also impossible to tell if mold is dangerous just by looking at it. So if you do find some fuzzy spots on your food, it may be best to just throw it out. Some foods are made with mold and are perfectly safe to eat, but unless you're about to chow down on a hunk of gorgonzola, any mold you find on your food should probably be removed. Fortunately, that doesn't necessarily mean the entirety of the food has to go to waste. For certain hard foods like apples, firm cheeses, and firm cured meats, the moldy area can be cut away.
Bless his moldy melon.
Furthermore, there's often more mold hiding underneath the surface of your food. As such, when removing mold from food, Healthline suggests cutting at least 1 inch around the moldy spot. You should also be mindful of not letting your knife touch the mold. On the other hand, mold can easily permeate soft foods like yogurt and jams. This means that if you find mold in a moist, fragile food, you should discard all of it. If you're ever unsure whether moldy food can be salvaged, tossing it out is always the safest option. Once you've eliminated the moldy food, it's important to thoroughly clean the surface it was resting on and inspect any neighboring food for signs of contamination. You should also refrigerate your food properly, make use of the refrigerator crisper drawer for produce, and keep any exposed food covered. This last part will help to prevent the spread of any airborne mold spores. Ingesting mold can be serious business, but in many cases there's nothing to worry about. So next time you accidentally eat something you shouldn't, just remain calm and look out for symptoms. You'll probably be fine.